So at this juncture, I'd like to say good evening to everybody. Thank you for coming on board this call, and I'm sure
Hi
I
everyone, can
can be
anybody
heard
hear
loud
me?
and clear. So it's 5 minutes past 7, and today's session for the Writers Club, we're
Hi
going to
Techie, hi
have
Emmy, hi
we're going
Khalid,
to have a
hi
session on
Emma, hi
understanding
Dee.
technical writing in Web3. Yeah. So like you saw on the caption, a lot of people have been talking about technical writing, saying this and that. And if you have felt confused at all in this session, I'm sure you're going to gain so much clarity. So, yeah, backstory. So, the guest on tonight's call is Ile Olami. I hope I got the name correct, please. I beg. So, yeah, Ile Olami is a technical writer, and we've been on a same Telegram group like for some months now. So I just had to hop into her DM and ask her if um she could come on board to this call. So yeah, my name is Kelsey, and I want you guys to stay put for this call. So yeah, let's get it started. Hi Ile Olami, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Good evening, everyone.
Thank God you can hear me.
Oh,
Yes, I can. I can
I
hear
can
you
hear you
loud
loud
and
and
clear.
clear. Oh, awesome. I was beginning to think that we are robbed. Okay,
Can
can
you
you
hear
hear
me?
me? Yeah, I can hear you. I think there's a lag, right? There's a lag, and you hear me like several seconds, even up to a minute.
Hi, are you speaking?
No. I've not been speaking. Like you stop at some point. So I decided to no stop.
Oh,
So
okay, it's kind
can I
of
go?
cracking on my end, but I think it will get better
All right.
soon.
Okay.
So the
So
floor is yours,
I think you can
and
take the
you can
floor.
get started, please.
I don't know why this.
Okay. Good
Okay. Good
evening,
evening,
everyone.
everyone. Okay.
Good evening. I want to thank the hosts for having me here. My own two pieces of no those small information I know about technical writing. Do it. So I'll go by introducing myself. My name is Liolami. I'm a front-end developer and a technical writer with 2 years plus experience in writing and boating. So this is an interesting topic for me. Yeah, actually when she sent me the topic, I was very, very happy to. Please, can you hear me?
Sure.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Oh, please, I can't hear you anymore. Oh, God.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, this is an interesting topic for me because a lot of people have been thinking, oh, what's this all about? What's the difference between technical writing, content writing, clinical, this one and that one? So, first, I want to start by saying this: technical writing is is it a type? Yes, it's a type of writing that tend to explain, that tend to explain complex, topics, terminologies, complex procedure in a very simple and concise language. Okay, from the word technical, you can actually know that, oh, technical means complexity. It's complex, right? So technical writing is different. Okay, the whole aspect is writing in general. We have different kind of writing. We have technical writing, we have research writing, but Technical writing, I used to tell people, technical writing on its own is totally different from content writing. You can be a technical writing and also be a content writer. That's why they use this word technical content writer or technical content writing. But for content writing, it means I'm explaining. Most times, the target is almost every the target audience is everybody, both beginners, developers, researchers, what's it called, investors, because you are talking about a general knowledge. Like if I'm used to writing, okay, let's say content like what is Web3, that's content writing, because I'm targeting everybody, both developer, newbies. But when it comes to technical writing, it's more specific in the terms that you are talking to a particular audience. Okay, from my own technical, we have different technical writing for different aspects of, not only tech though, but let me use tech. We are in tech, we have cyber security, we have data analysis, we have UI UX writing, we have what's it called? We have DevOps. So if you are a technical writer, you are specific. That means for me as a developer, and most of my technical content are majorly on, you know, um, blockchain development, like how to integrate smart contracts to front end. Mostly, let me use the word mostly on web development. So that content alone is specific, right? My niche is specific. I'm talking mostly to newbies in development, intermediate and experts in development. I'm not talking to a newbie who just wants to know something about Web3. So when you're talking about technical writing, you are more specific. You are more specific. Okay, your target audience. If I tell you that, oh, I'm a technical writer, my target audience, oh, you should ask me that, are they developers, or are they data analysts? So that's the difference. And I used to tell people that before you can become a technical writer, before you can call yourself a technical writer, you must be, in fact, you must be technical yourself. You must know the technical aspect of one niche. So when I see people call themselves, because when you are talking about technical writing, you must know how to do a tutorial guide. When I mean a code-based content, not really a code. I'm just talking about web development and itself, or software engineering itself, code-based development, hardware, like how to create how to make a phone, like something like that, how to create a button on a phone, how to integrate your fan to your solar panel, all those kind of things, because they are technical. So you must be technical yourself. You must have that technical knowledge. You must be sound, because if I'm writing about how to um how to integrate smart contracts to front end, and I don't have the understanding, I cannot convey that message to developers. I cannot convey that message to a smart contract developer. Am I making sense, please? Please, can you hear me, please?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. So for Web3, now you've understand what technical writing. Now let's go to what makes technical writing unique, or what makes technical writing unique, or what is technical writing in Web3? Now, is technical writing in Web2 different from technical writing in Web3? No, it's just that the content differs. If I'm writing on Web3 content as a technical writer, definitely I'm talking about something that have to do with smart contract development, blockchain, cryptographic, what's it called, hashing, and the rest of it. Okay, how to create a wallet. using the account abstraction, something like that. If you're a developer here or you know a little bit of all these things, you understand. So what now make and please hold on for me. Second. Oh, please, can you still hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes, yes. Please continue.
Can you hear me? Oh, my network, Jesus.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah. So, what makes technical writing unique in Web3? We understand that Web3 itself is complex. When I mean complex, there are um, there are terminologies that we use that they are more in fact they are complex. Let me use Web3 on its own is complex. When you're talking about decentralized networks, under that decentralized networks, we are talking about RPC, we are talking about layer 2 protocols, all those consensus mechanism, all those things. They are complex. Even you, okay, I remember when I started out as, when I go into fully like blockchain development and I was reading the Ethereum book. Trust me, sometimes on one chapter I can spend like days just to understand what they are saying. So we understand that this thing, and that's this complexity is what still limiting the numbers, the onboard. I see people trying to, they will ask me, Ilalami, what is Web3? I'll be like, okay, this is Web3, this is this. And they'll still be like, oh, my, this is a lot. So now, you as a technical writer or as a content writer, let me use that, make this complexity in a simple manner, like in a very simple and concise way, in a very simple, clear terms that, oh, okay, this is what this person is trying to say. As for me, if you have come across any of my articles, I love to use story a lot and comparison. In fact, I like to simplify something as if I'm talking to a 5 years old, and that's how I also study too. Because I remember when I was trying to like know what the difference between wallet and account. In fact, I try to understand it using our normal pause. Okay, the pause means, is it the whole pause? Then the space inside the box, is it called account? Okay, I try to as much as possible to understand what wallet and account means. Then I later find out that okay, the best way to understand is to compare our BVN to our account. You know that without your BVN, you cannot open any account. So the wallet account can be compared to our normal bank account. So having this understanding that, oh, Web3 is kind of complex and I need to explain it in a way that my newbies or anybody or expert, somebody coming into the Web3 can understand. So you have to reduce this, how will I put it, the technicality that people that we must break down these complex jargons and protocol into simple digestible information without losing the essence. So for example, think about explaining proof of stake and proof of work. How best can you convey this message to someone that is not even in the Web3 space at all? That, oh, okay, this is what proof of stake means. Oh, this is what proof of work means. Following. Oh, Jesus. Please,
Please,
can
can
you
you
hear
hear
me?
me? Sure, you can continue.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, very good. So then we now have the common challenge in I'm going to talk about the common challenge involving feed that we have in Web3. Today, um you hear that there's something called DeFi. Tomorrow you are hearing DAO. Next tomorrow you are hearing sidechain. Tomorrow you are hearing layer zero. Like there is different thing. Before you know it, there is the pin. There is no different kind of terminologies, that different technologies, different tools. So these are the common challenges that most times people even in Web 2 do not want to like dap into Web 3, because they'll be like, ah, Omo is a lot, this and that, this and that. Sometimes I remember I wanted to write on a particular layer 2 network, ZK Zinc. Trust me, reading the documentation alone is a lot, because in that documentation, I also learned that there is paymaster, there is gas account, there is native abstraction, there is account abstraction. Even me, when I was reading it, I was like, God, how can I explain this thing? These are some of the challenges that we have. So I understand. When I go through this whole thing and I understand that, okay, this is what it, my role as now a technical writer in the Web 3 space is to you know make sure, bridge the gap, not try to like bombard the newbies with jargons like that. Try as much as possible to know. I try as much as possible in that article to in a simply format. Like I use stories, I use comparison. Okay, this one can be related to this particular thing. Best practice for writing in Web 3. Number one, know your audience. We have okay. Let Before I go to that aspect, let's talk about various technical writing. We have one, various content. Is it various content? Let me use that word. We have white paper, we have yellow paper, we have documentation, we have user guide. Which other one again? We have proposal, we have PRD. I think that one too is also part of writing, right? So having this, knowing these various type of technical writing in Web 3, now you have to know your audience, and this is what brings me to the best practice for writing in Web 3. Now, so let's say I want to write I'm writing a documentation, a developer documentation. You already know who my audience is, who my audience are, right? My audience are developers. So I need to, like, as a writer, my role is to ensure that the message I'm passing to the developers is accurate. Developers, we don't have patience to be reading story. We like straight to the point. We don't like beating around the bush or in fact, developers, if they say that your content, like a normal article, is more than 1,000 words, they might not read it, except is a step-by-step guide. Do you understand? So know your audience. And if I'm writing on um we are writing on if I'm writing on white paper, you know that white paper is for everybody. That's where everybody gets to see the information about your project. So I should know how to convey that message. That means I have to be straightforward. I have to use the right terminology in the right place. And then secondly, another best practice. Sorry. Another best practice is the use of visuals and analogy. In fact, visuals is the best way. If you are explaining user guide, please add visuals to it. In fact, I've seen a lot of articles that they're trying to explain how to install. Imagine you are explaining how to um okay, let's say how to install, as I'm not seeing command prompt, like, okay, if I install this thing, what is the response should I get? No, you have to use diagrams, visuals, screenshots to explain this content. You have to use analogy, like I said. Some of Web 3s, in fact, they're abstract. So how best can you like convey this message is through analogy? Like I said, wallet account. Do you get? I use BVN and our normal bank account to explain it. So then we now have various tools. What are the various tools for writing for technical writing in Web3? It's still the normal tools for it's still the normal tools for writing in Web2. Okay, let's say publishing sites like Ashnode is still the same thing, Dev2 is still the same thing, Medium is still the same thing. Even though I think later on I find out that Web3 also have their own web. We now have a publishing site in Web3, that's Mirror. I think we have two TX a blog site. I use it once, majorly built on Web3 networks. And we say for writing documentation, of course, we have Git books. We still use the Git books. We still use Swagger, Postman, the rest of it. And then editing tools, Grammarly is still the same thing. So if you are and AI tools, I'm not saying you should major on them, but ensure that you use them rightly to, simplify your works and all that. Then which other tools again did I know I use? I use Anatolic, to for screenshots and all that, to add notes, okay, install this part and all that. So and it's still the same thing. Then okay, yeah, and collaboration. When you're writing a Web3, please you need to collaborate with everybody in that project. Work closely with developers, project managers, community members. Let them give you feedback. In fact, even if you are not writing for a project, you are writing for yourself, and you are writing on a code-based tutorial, or you are writing on a particular network, meet the stakeholders. Stakeholders like the ambassadors. If you are writing, let's say for example, if you are writing on which of this chain, if you're writing on Solana, let's say you're writing on Solana, you want to write a content. After you've draft your content, please ensure that you give like a developer, a marketer, majorly people that you know that yes, they are knowledgeable about Solana, to help you go through that content to see if it's true, if what you are putting out there is true. Because trust me, there are a lot of confusion in Web3, and you don't want to add more confusion to it. You want people to trust you that yes, anytime I read Iliola's article, I know that yes, our content is always true, is always correct and accurate. That's like my own pleading for every writers here, because I read a whole lot of content out there that when I read it, I'll be like, no, this is not true, this is not right, this is not true. Some so-called communities on their social media, they'll post a particular thing, you read it, you see that, oh, this thing is not true. So as a technical writer, as a content writer, if you're creating any content on a particular project chain, ensure that you give it developers, everybody to go through it and say that, oh, reveal it for you, is it true, then work on the feedbacks. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about uh please um the role of community in Web3 documentation. This is another aspect of technical writing that is very, very essential. So we understand comes to Web3. Community is everything. In fact, I can say community has helped Web3 ecosystem a lot. So how when I say that the role of community in Web3 documentation is that make some of let me most you understand, you will notice that most of the documentation in Web3 are open source. Why? Because it brings collaboration, it brings this togetherness, this oneness in a particular chain. Encourage people to encourage people to contribute, give them that sense of belongingness. Like, let me please, sorry for my pronunciation, let them contribute to that documentation. If you are the technical writing lead for a particular chain, ensure that people contribute, ask for feedback, carry out survey in a particular documentation. Because trust me, as a technical writer, you are also marketing that project indirectly. And for every project, the end goal is to make money, satisfy the community and make money. So if your documentation is poor, you tend to lose users, customers, and you will not make money. So that's, I hope I've been able to understand what technical writing is in Web3.
Okay, that was a mouthful
Go
actually.
ahead.
So,
Please, if you have
can you
any
hear me,
question for
please?
me, I would like to answer them.
Oh my god, don't tell me to hear. Hmm. Wow, interesting. Oh, hi, can you hear me?
Hello, are you there?
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, can you hear me? Hello, are you there?
Thank you so much for that simplified, in-depth explanation. I don't know if any of us have questions. If you have questions about she did justice to simplify abuse. Um, the floor is open for questions in case you have any.
Hey, please, can
Okay,
you
please
hear
can
me
you hear
now?
me now? Yes, I can.
Yes, I
Please
can.
go ahead.
Yes, Charles, you can take over.
Alright. Okay. My God. So I thank you for that session. Please, I wrote some questions down and I would like you to address them for me. So how do okay, for example, if you are writing about let's say ZK knowledge, maybe you just read something online and then like zero knowledge, proof, snack and all that, or and then you researched about it and you're writing about it. Would you call that technical writing or is just like generalized content writing?
Okay, it depends on what you are writing. Okay, maybe okay. I if you're writing in a particular like okay that layer two, and you're just giving like a general knowledge, like okay, like what is like all those title that talks about what content writing, because yes, it's for everybody. But where it's not like separate is as a developer, maybe you want to share your experience using this, building on this particular network, like building on any of these zero knowledge protocols. Maybe you are trying to, or maybe you build on ZK Stacknet. So you are trying to share your experience on how on how you the gas fee. That's like, it's not everybody that can explain that. That will tell you that, oh, the gas fee I use here is more expensive than that one. They will ask you how. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. So you have to like be more practical in what you're explaining, right?
Exactly. You have to be more practical. Like, in fact, when you're comparing, okay, let's say you're comparing like to Stacknet to ZK Zinc, you know, you have to bring something that is factual. That's like, okay, the gas fee here is expensive. How? You try to show proof that when you're trying to bridge a token from Ethereum to Stacknet, it costs you more. With proof, with screenshots, going to bring out a chart that shows the numbers of users that use this particular zik, a particular amount of gas that is spent on this particular network. So you have to be more specific, more practical. In fact, when you're writing your project and you're trying to when you're trying to carry out a research, those people in science, they're trying to talk about a particular chemical, this and that, blah blah blah. You have to be more practical, like That's where the old technicality comes in. But if you're just talking about a general knowledge, oh, you can build, so it's like content. Everybody can, like, you can write on that. And I'm not saying they are not useful. They are very useful because we need to be pushing out content on Web3 a lot so that we can indirectly, if you write a good content, you will onboard people to Web3. Trust me. If you write good content, good, clear, concise content, you indirectly you're onboarding people to Web3. And that's what we need. So do I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, you have. So I think I have another one. Is
Okay.
technical writing
It's not only for developers. You technical writing, is it only for developers? It's not. How? Okay. In okay, let me use this word. Developers. The data analysts are not developers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So do you understand? Even so technicality does not mean development. It is not limited to, when you're talking about technical, something that is very, very complex. Like, let's take for example, you're in the finance world, you are talking about calculation, you're talking about money, you're talking about um stock. That's complex for a normal, like a normal person to talk about. So, or maybe you are talking about science research, you're talking about a particular chemical, you're trying to, I'm not a science student, sha. You're talking about technicality, even product specification, like phone, all those user guide, they are technical. All these user guide that comes with our phones, our laptops, what's it called, are they developers? They are not developers, but they are explaining technicality to you. Do you understand?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
So technical writing span in different aspects of his own. Even in our so-called Web3, we have different aspects in Web3. We have the development, we have the trading aspect, we have we have the data aspect of it. We have the something like the cloud. Let me use like all these like oracles. What's it called? We are talking about, are they developers? They're not developers. So every aspect has its own technical thing. Have I make myself clear?
Yeah, yeah. It's lots to understand, but yeah, you are clear. You're clear.
You say what?
I said it's a lot to understand. That means your role spans in different dimensions, like product
Different
description
dimensions.
and all.
In fact, let me simplify it in this way. When you're talking about technical writing, you are more like technical, very, very, very technical. If you're an economist and you're writing about GDP of a country, that's technical. You are a technical writer in that aspect. Let me use that word for a particular niche. Okay, hardware. If you are talking about hardware, okay, you are talking about GDP, GPU, I think we have GPU, we have TPC, TPCU, or something like that. We have the CPU. All those hardwares, they're also technical writers. Those people that talk about them. Okay, how to connect one particular wire to another wire. They're technical writers too, but it's just that is your niche. You are more specific. I'm a technical writer, but as a developer, I have to write code. Data analysts, they don't write codes now. Even okay, I think they write. Do they write something like, I think they write, but I am not. They write. They use Python. So those people that explain that Power, I think there's Power BI or something like that on that data. They're also technical writers now. Do you understand?
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, yes, I do. I do. I'll just have to like look at it again. Okay. So, what common mistakes do you see new technical writers make?
One common mistake is that There is jargons in Web3. In fact, the whole text thing, there's some. Okay, one common mistake that I'll say that most people is that you are not clear. We don't make that effort to simplify something. Okay, if you are talking about blockchain technology, you just come blockchain is a technology that do this, that do that. That if people are reading your content, let me use that word. If people are reading your content and you still have to go and research, use Google, trust me, it's bad. It's terrible. And that's very 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 common in this our Web3 space. Some, even not, if not only Web3 space, even in Web2, I'll read some articles. You are explaining something, I have to go to Google to go and make research, or I have to pass it through ChatGPT to help me simplify what you are saying. So ensure that you communicate in a very simple, like, read it as if you are writing it for yourself. That, okay, if you are writing this thing, how best can I understand this thing? Because, as like I said, I like to, if you are teaching me anything, please use comparison, use story. That, because that's how best I understand something. Use analogy, use a real life example to explain to me. Don't tell me abstract. And that's how best. So if I'm also conveying my own content, I convey it like that so that you can also understand. You don't have to read my content and go to ChatGPT again and still be asking. Do you get?
That's fine.
All right.
Okay. Sorry, I have
So
like more questions, like just few.
please, can you hold on? I think True Promise wants to ask his own
Oh,
question.
okay, I didn't
Please
notice.
just hold.
Yes, hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Thanks for putting out the information about technical writing. I just have
Okay.
some questions to ask before the other speaker also add some more questions. I wanted to ask you of the types of documents or types of technical writing. That is white papers, the yellow papers. Which one is the most lucrative? Which one maybe takes the longest? And or which one takes the shortest maybe to do as a beginner or maybe as a also doing content? And then what advice would you give if somebody is maybe starting out uh, a technical writing? Uh, what ways would you advise somebody maybe to start off so that maybe they can get a paying yes, a paying job maybe within. Thanks.
Oh, okay. So, first I'll start with the first question, which is types of technical writing in Web3. Number one, we have, um, in fact, we have a whole lot. We have a lot of them. We have, but the one that is common, we have API documentation. So we have, this API documentation describe how developers can use API provided by Web3 platform or protocols. So number two, we have, user guide. User guide in sense that talks about a step by step guide that, a user can carry out, like something like how to install how to install wallet, how to create account, something like that. How to A user guide like how to add a network to your wallet. Do you understand? And then we now have tutorials. Tutorial means you are teaching to front end how to use a RPC provider to something, and you are writing it with a code based tutorial, like you're adding code because this has to do with codes. Do you get? And then we have technical white paper. In depth white paper means documents that describe technology, architecture, process behind a particular Web3 project or platform. We also have security audit and reports, documentation that describes the finding about security audit of a smart contracts, protocols, its vulnerability and all that. Then we have which common ones, which other one do we have again? Then we have yes, we have tokenomics and governance documents. This is a document that explain economic model, finance mechanism, incentive of Web3 projects. So we have a whole lot of them, but these are the common ones. So the second question that you asked is which one is more lucrative? Trust me, they are all lucrative. They are all lucrative. It's how best you, but the one that I feel like that is more like I feel like it brings more money is documentation. That's like API documentation, building a doc site. Those ones are, they are lucrative, they are hard to do. So they are technical, like very, very technical to do, because if you are building a doc site, trust me, you must know how to write markdowns, you must know how to write code, because sometimes you need to write code when you are talking about doc sites. So everything is not about markdown alone. So the tougher, the more the money is. So if I'm building I know of people that if they want to build a doc site for you, they are charging like 7K dollars, 5K dollars, 10K dollars, because and this thing takes months, sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months. Do you get? So they are all lucrative. So you also ask another question: which one can somebody start with? I will tell you that you start with content. I started by Web3, because when I was reading the Ethereum, I think my first article on Web3 was actually understanding the difference between technology and network, where I explained the difference between blockchain technology and the networks. Do you get? So start from content, start by carrying out, okay, from Web3, what is Web3? Okay, what is cryptography? What is this? What is cryptocurrency? What's the, like, start with something that is interesting, something that is that is very easy for you to something that you can pick up, that when you pick more complex tasks, you yourself as a writer, you won't be confused. So I answer your question.
Just one more that maybe you forgot to say. Uh,
Okay.
of the ones that you've mentioned, which one takes the shortest, and which one takes the longest to do? That maybe maybe a short ones, and then maybe later on they can specialize with the ones which take the longest time.
Ah, okay. Which one takes the longest time? Trust me, it depends on you as a writer. But the one I know that actually takes a longer time is documentation. Documentation itself takes time. I think 1 month, 2 months, and it's something that is continuous. So documentation is not a one-off thing. You have to keep updating it. So it takes time. So the one that is shortest is maybe like content, like a general knowledge. You can write that one between, depending on you as a writer, maybe like between 2 to 3 days. But white paper, I think white paper takes 1 week. Yes, because you have to. There are some mathematics you need to add. But some people write white paper within 3 days. But as for me, I think 1 week. 1 week. Then user guide too, because tutorial guide, like code based tutorial guide, that one takes time. As for me, I won't lie to you. If you are, I'm writing on. Do you get? Before I have to go for my treatment this morning, like it takes time, because one, I have to build the project itself, and this thing comes with a lot of bug that I have to fix. I have to debug, and this debugging sometimes take me 2 days, 3 days, because I have to build it. I have to see how is it working. Then I will not decide to create another fresh project for the article. Understand? So that one might take you time. A user guide might take you 1 week too. Do you get? Because you have to build the project itself. After you now build it, You now have to start writing on it. Okay, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. All right, Avas, answer your question. Not your back. Let me see. Please, I'm pronouncing it rightly. Please, you can ask your question.
Okay. Yeah.
Kelsey, Abi Caleb.
Yeah, Kelsey, Kelsey. Okay, so do you what's the story? Topics you are
Okay.
not expert in, like
Um.
especially when people throw questions at you. I remember when I wrote about Omni Network, that was like some month ago, and then it's more like a layer two solution. And what somebody asked me something. uh, how do you differentiate between what I searched for the answer? I didn't even see the question coming. I just wrote it, and in my own way, I felt like I understood what I was writing, and I could answer any question that's the answer. I can't remember exactly what the question was. So I'd like to ask, how do you handle topics you're not expert at? Because I do code, although like I had slight knowledge about coding, but I'm always interested in trying to simplify some technical stuff. Yeah, I can hear you. God. Oh, she's off. I think she has to join again. Let me text her, please. Hold on. Please, if you can hear me, can you give a thumb? Okay. All right. Thank you. I've okay. 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 Can you hear me now? Hi. Can you hear me? I would continue my question. I hope Ile Olami can hear me. I'm sorry if I have not pronounced the name correctly. So I was trying to ask you, how do you cope with topics you are not expert? I don't know. Please hold on. Let me try to reach out to her. I think there is network issue. Victor, I've approved you, sir. Good evening, sir. Oh my god, what's going on? Please give me a minute. Let me try to fix this. I don't know.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear
Can you hear
me?
me?
Oh yeah, sure.
Is it my network?
I wasn't hearing you at first, but you are clear now. Oh, she has gone off. Okay, Mr. Victor, good evening, sir. Hello. Hi, Victor. Good evening. Okay, guys, while we wait for our speakers to like come on board, anything, maybe comments, insights, anything you wish to say on the call. Thank you. Hi, Victor. You can speak now. My mic muted. Hi, Victor.
Hi, can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah,
Can
I
you hear
can
me
hear you, sir.
clearly?
Yes.
Yeah. I think maybe the network is from my side. I don't even know. Yeah, since I don't, that's why I joined the space now.
All right, sir.
Or do you have any question in mind for me?
Mm, okay. Maybe how to, if there are ways you can integrate. I know you are. You're laughing. I know you are a Web3 growth marketer and all. Messi comes back on board. Is it how we can integrate technical writing in growth marketing? Is it part of a skill stack? How do we
Sure.
find our way around it? Yeah.
The thing is, what we call technical writing, let's define it in a simple term. It means simplifying jargons into easy, readable, and understandable formats for the audience. So technical writing is a pillar when it comes to growth marketing because the plague that is happening in Web3 is lack of simplicity. And technical writing is bringing simplicity into the space because it's through technical writing we'll get to know what are these jargons, what are the simplified way of communicating with these people. Okay, let me cite an instance now. Let me cite a very easy instance. Okay, um let's use DSTV. Let's use DSTV as an example. Let's use DSTV as an example. You will see their manual. Their manual is so easy to read and to implement. Their manual is so even see all these Web2 appliances, they all have manuals. Manuals are their form of technical content, and the manual will simplify the entire process, making it easy for the user or for the reader to easily grab. So that's it. And technical writing is a weapon we can use in Web3 because it brings about simplicity. And simplicity is the greatest marketing weapon of all time is simplicity. Once you simplify what you are building and your user can easily use it. Let's take Kuda app as an example. People can easily navigate, open Kuda app, navigate everything easily because there is this a cursor leading you to the next thing to press, to the next thing to press. So technical writing helps a lot in Web3 growth marketing because it brings about simplicity. For example, for devs now, it shows them how the project is being built. When we talk about technical documentations, and a lot of projects nowadays, sadly, they don't have good docs, they don't have good technical documentations, which is not good enough because a lot of developers will not get this knowledge on time. So in short, before or techie therapists or take over. In short, technical writing is needed in Web3 growth marketing because it brings about simplicity. And if you can simplify the process, then you can onboard the users. Thank you. Let me just stop here for now. And everyone, please do a favor, let's retweet the space. Please and please. You can untweet it or after the space, but please let's retweet this space. Let's retweet, let's give this space a retweet. Let's give it a retweet. Please retweet the space so that people in your connections, they can view it and join us. Please, just a minute, retweet this space right now. Joseph, Unwana, uh Hemi, Amaka, please let's retweet the space. Let's retweet the space. Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Victor. Loud. I'm a tech therapist, and thank you for joining this space. We're grateful. We're grateful. So, before Techie went off, I think she was saying something. So please, I hope we've all reposted this. I'll be retweeted this our space. So you guys, please retweet. So let people come and see that it's not really like jargon like everybody thinks, and you can set a pace for yourself. So yeah, Techie, please, the floor is yours, ma.
Okay. They'll give you people soak bread. You are looking for toast bread.
Go and buy Starlink. Spend
Amen.
this money. Buy Starlink. Spend this money now.
Amen. Amen. Amen in Jesus' name. So I think you've done justice, or then I don't know, Mr. Victor will have mentioned that. Technical writer, you are indirectly generating fund for whatever organization that you are working for. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, my boss.
Please, you are indirectly generating fund for organization that sometimes people believe that, oh, I'm a writer. My right is just to write and then you pay me. That is it. Like, have this understanding that you're also part of those people generating fund for your organization, regardless. Indirect. I know that sometimes is indirect because let me give you an example. There's this particular tools that developers use a lot. Most developers like it because okay, let me is Eta okay, is Eta JS. Eta JS is good. In fact, I can say Eta JS is the best. Even in chat, they will recommend it for you. But the problem that they have is documentation. Let me tell you something. It's so poor that their documentation is so poor. Very, very. What I mean is very, very poor. It's very, very poor. As a developer, sometimes I remember one time I was using a part. Is it version 5? Is it no? I was see on Google. It's version 5, and I have to spend hours searching for the latest. If when I was even reading documentation, say I was so pissed. So from there, we now see that people have even start. I've stopped using that particular. I have stopped using that particular tools because of what they have poor documentation. People are now using Vim. Now Web3 JS has now improved of their document directly. If the documentation is bad or is poor, there's no blog, there's not people will not use it. Now people are now using there's another documentation that people are now using again as a developer. People are now using Third Web because Third Web is very, very easy to use. The documentation is straightforward, like straightforward. They will tell you, okay, are you using this particular if you are using React, you are using TypeScript, you are using Vue. It's so easy to use. Now look at another docs compared to the Wagmi before. That's why I stopped using Wagmi. A lot to install Wagmi takes time. The documentation is now too bulky. I don't even know how to put it. It's not easy to navigate, like it's not well structured. So now look at them. They've like missed out on a lot of users. So indirectly, if I'm not using your platform, how do you want to make money? Because your documentation is bad. I don't know if I'm communicating. So as a technical writer, ensure that any content you are creating, any content, documentation on anything, you are also bringing more users and more fun. So look at it as your own. If I read this documentation, will I be able to use this particular tools? Okay, if I read this tutorial, will I be able to come back and use it again? Even me as a writer, I still go back to some of my article to read and use it. So look at before you publish it, read it. Can I be honest with yourself? Can you use this particular article if you encounter this kind of problem? That's all I have to say for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Techie. Okay, does anybody have anything to say? Question, reviews? Shoot your shots now, please. All right. So I hope I can be heard actually.
Yes, you
So
can.
at this juncture, this is 12 minutes past 8. Okay, okay. So this is like 12 minutes past 8, and I want to appreciate you all for joining. I don't know if you. Okay, somebody has requested. A minute, please. Let me see. Okay. Hi, Femi. The floor is yours. GM, GM. Hi, Femi.
Sir Victor, the techie, I see you, and everyone here. Good evening from my end. Is your favorite Femi Fex. Uh, Actually, I did come late to the party. I came late to the party, and I think I missed some alphas from the speakers today. Basically, I don't know. I can see the call is being recorded, and I'll try and get to listen again. I am a Web3 writer basically, but I don't like. I'm just like kind of getting to know the technical writing. Because I did hear the tech writing indirectly. To me, it's like content marketing. I don't know if I'm right. Writing to like generate income or people to like use the service of a project. I don't know. Do we have like a still like go through, to learn more, or if I can get like a recap of what has been said, I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. You can you can listen to this record later, and then it's not like I'm not saying content marketing. We are just trying to like the aspect I said indirectly. Trust me, every content is you're indirectly marketing. Let's be honest with ourselves. Because that's the goal. The goal marketing is to bring more and like is to generate more money, bring in users, onboard users, more users. So indirectly, you are trying to market. So if you are marketing, it's not that sometimes we don't say these things. You are indirectly marketing. So you can go through that, you can go through this record later, and then on my LinkedIn, or you can check out my tweets, but most time check my LinkedIn. I drop some content on, I've been writing on technical writing since last month, even though I'm not really like a clue, a deeper understanding of what writing entails in general. And then if you want to like go through a course on technical writing, the um, let me drop their Twitter page. You can check them out. I also went through a mentorship program under the under technical writing mentorship program. Yes, technical writing mentorship program. So check their YouTube, their sites, and then you can learn more.
All right, that's awesome. For your LinkedIn, I don't know, can you like pin your link so, or how can I get that so I can like uh get to check you out on LinkedIn?
Okay, I'm doing that right away. So yeah,
Oh,
I
awesome.
just dropped the link to mine so you can check it out.
Unfortunately, I can't see any message. Yeah. Okay, you just drop it, right? Okay, I've seen it. I've seen it.
I think we are done here, right? Or if anybody else still has a question?